Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Imtiaz Arif and I'm your Pakistan Studies teacher for class 10th. I welcome you to online support program by the APSEX. In this connection, we are going to talk about the chapter number 6, the first topic, that is the objective of the Pakistan foreign policy. And the text of this topic is located on page 29 and 31 of your book. The basic objective of this exercise is to make you understand the objectives of the foreign policy of Pakistan, that what are the aims, what are the targets which the government of Pakistan want to achieve through the various points described in the foreign policy of Pakistan. Pakistan, as you know, is located in Southeast Asia on the globe. While we look at the position of Pakistan on the globe, we observe that on the eastern side of Pakistan is located India. Afghanistan and Iran are located on the western side. Afghanistan is toward the northwestern side and Iran is at the southwestern side. China is located on the northern side of Pakistan. On the southern side we have the Arabian Sea, and across the Arabian Sea are located the Gulf countries, or the Arab states of the Gulf Peninsula. The next important point is the definition of the foreign policy. What is the foreign policy? Foreign policy is defined as the process of establishing friendly relation with the other countries of the world for attaining certain objectives. These objectives are of various kinds. It may be economical, it may be political, it may be religious, it may be of some other sort. But the basic aim is to establish relations with the other countries of the world in order to fulfill certain deficiencies or requirements. The main objectives of the Pakistan policy as described in your book are 4 in number. The first one is the territorial sovereignty and security. It means that through this foreign policy we want to achieve certain goals. Number one, we want to make sure our sovereignty. Sovereignty means our independence or freedom in exercising all our authority over the various state departments. In this connection, Pakistan is an independent state, it's a sovereign state, and it is not submitted to any other country of the world. We as Muslims believe in the sovereignty of Allah, so the people and the state of Pakistan are only submitted to Allah, and in that connection we would observe only the Quranic and the injunctions and the sayings of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this Islamic ideology, or these principles of the Islamic ideology are the basis of our Islamic ideology. So the sovereignty in Pakistan rests with Allah alone. Then the next aim is the protection of our freedom. We are an independent country, and the basic aim is to protect our country from foreign aggression. In that connection, we establish a good relation with other countries of the world to protect our freedom. That in fact is a tool to safeguard our independence. So for the freedom, the protection of the freedom of Pakistan, we need to have good relation with other countries of the world. Similarly, we want to protect our borders as well. So in that connection, we are establishing very good relation with all the countries in our surroundings, especially our neighboring countries, China, India, Afghanistan, Iran, and of course the Arabian Peninsula countries. These are all the countries which are located in this region in our surrounding, and we want to have good relation with them, mainly to protect our borders from any aggression. We respect their independence, and in return expect them to respect our independence. In that connection, we are strongly committed to the UNO Charter. United Nations Organization Charter says that every independent nation has the right to protect its territorial sovereignty and security. And we believe in it, we are adhere to it, and in that connection we are fully committed that Pakistan does not have any aggression, evil designs or the designs of aggression against any other country, nor allow any other country to have such designs against Pakistan. Next one is the example from the history. Throughout the history, we have been very successful in defending our country against the only aggressor in the region, that is India. The Indians, they have tried 3 times to violate the borders of Pakistan, and although we have succeeded only once, that was in 1965. In 1948, we at the front of Kashmir, although did not succeed because of the intervention of the UNO. The case is still pending in the United Nations, and in 1971 war, unfortunately we could not protect half part of Pakistan in the form of Bangladesh, because that was very distantly situated, and the situation at that time was that our army was unfortunately they were trapped there, and we could not even help them. So that is unfortunately one of the incidents in which we could not protect our territory or our independence. The next aim of the foreign policy of Pakistan is the ideological protection. We are an ideological country. Pakistan came into being on the basis of Islamic ideology. That is why the protection of this ideology is the primary duty of every government in Pakistan. We set our foreign policy on the patterns through which we could defend our ideological frontiers. We do not allow any country of the world, any nation, any community to violate the basic principles of our religion, to interfere into our religious affairs, or to create problems for us as far as our ideology is concerned, because we cannot compromise on our ideology, because that is the basis of our country foundation. We at the same time believe in Islamic teachings of fraternity. Islam teaches us that all the Muslims are like brothers. So in that connection, we are extending brotherly relation to all the Muslim countries of the world, and we are establishing very good, friendly, sincere brotherly relations with them. The relations with the Islamic world is the main objective of the foreign policy of Pakistan, because they are the countries who have the top priority in our foreign policy whenever we set our policy. So we give first preference to the Islamic world. They are Islamic brothers according to our religion, and whatever we do, we simply keep their position in mind as well. So the Pakistan would never do anything which would harm the integrity and sovereignty of these Islamic countries. And throughout the history, we have displayed various instances where we have come forward for the protection of the Islamic world, whether it is the Palestine or Algeria or even Iraq and Iran and so many other instances. These Islamic bonds, the bonds are the relation of through which we are bonded with the other Islamic countries, is also the main objective of the foreign policy of Pakistan. Islam teaches us to have good relation with our Islamic brothers. So Pakistani government, they take all the measures which are necessary for strengthening these bonds with the Islamic countries of the world. And for this purpose, we are using the OIC platform. Organization of the Islamic Conference came into being in 1969 after the fire incident in the Masjid al-Aqsa, and from that day onward till today, Pakistan is using this platform for the betterment of the Muslim world, at so many instances while the world was, the Islamic world rather, was in trouble. So Pakistan raised a voice from this platform and urging the Muslim heads of the state to help these suppressed nations. The other aim of the Pakistan foreign policy is the development in financial and economic trends. Since no country can live on its own, it is always dependent on other countries of the world for some material needs. Same is the case with Pakistan as well, because the economic base of Pakistan is unfortunately very poor. We have very poor industrialization, and right from the very beginning we could not stand on stable footing in the field of economy. So that is why we always have good relation with other countries of the world for economic support. In that connection, not only the Islamic world but the non-Muslim world also have been very helpful, and that is the greatest achievement of the foreign policy of Pakistan. We rely on the economically stable countries of the world. These countries, all the industrially and economically developed countries of the world, mostly are the Western countries, United States of America and other countries. They constantly provide us the economic and financial support. So Pakistan always tries to have very good relation with them, and in action Pakistan has been very successful. For the cultural enrichment, we in the Islamic ideological state always work for the protection of our Islamic culture. We have a specific way of life, civilization, and the protection of that culture and civilization is the primary duty of every Pakistani. So that is why our government always set their foreign policy on the patterns through which our culture could be protected. Pakistani culture reflects the Islamic values. Whatever Islam teaches us, that is practically done through the Islamic culture, and that is what we show to the world, how an Islamic country should be behaving. For this reason, we have very good cooperation with the Islamic countries as well. All the Islamic countries, they have close cultural contact with one another. They exchange ideas, they exchange groups through which they enrich their culture and through which they promote their cultural values. In this connection, a number of the cultural exchange programs are run. Many Pakistani students, many Pakistani people, they visit all the Islamic countries of the world, even the foreign countries, the non-Muslim world, where they display their culture to the other world, countries of the world. In that connection, the export of the various cultural commodities like dresses, handicrafts, souvenirs, etc., is also high important, because the business, the trade of all these commodities provide us a lot of financial support in the form of dresses. Pakistan is very well known all over the world for the production of its cotton production, and the Islamic dresses are very well appreciated all over the world. Similarly, handicrafts made in Pakistan, cottage industry, are very well all over the world. So this is an area through which not only we portray our culture, but we also earn a lot of money. To recap this whole topic, first we discuss about the location of Pakistan, then we try to understand the definition of the foreign policy and the four main objectives of the foreign policy of Pakistan, on the basis of which we set our relation with other countries of the world. And at the end we have the conclusion, where we would conclude that Pakistan foreign policy is mainly based on certain principles. These principles are revolving around our Islamic teachings. So that is all from my side for today. If you still have any problem, any queries, you can contact me on the given number. Till next assignment, it's Allah Hafiz. See you then. Assalamu alaikum.